guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm excited. I'm excited for two reasons. The first reason is I got a new shirt that I want to share with you guys. It is a Little Women shirt that I have been wanting, one of these ones that has like the names, you know, Meg and Joe and Beth and Amy, and Out of Print just started selling this one, and I think it's really cute. It's very springy and I like it a lot, so I'm excited about it. And then the other reason I'm excited is because today I'm doing a book haul revisit. This time we are going back to April of 2019, in which I did a library sale book haul. And judging by the thumbnail, it looks like I got a lot of books. So I'm really interested to see what's gonna go down with this book haul, which books I've read. I'm pretty sure I have not read all of the books that are in that pile. So, as you guys know, from the unread books on this haul, I'm gonna pick one that's gonna go on my May TBR. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a trip down memory lane and see what I bought back in April 2019. Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you a book haul. I went to a library sale today, and it was fabulous. It's my favorite library sale to go to, and it only happens twice a year at this really big library near where I live. And yeah, I got some books. So I'm just gonna dive right in because I have a lot of books here. So the first few books that I got are actually books I've already read, but I wanted to get copies. Okay, so I'm just gonna fast forward through the books I already read because what's the point of that? So I'm gonna fast forward. Okay, my next stack of books are all books that I have not read. So, the first one I picked up was Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. This is a retelling of Jane Eyre, in which Jane Eyre is a serial killer. I mean, that sounds very interesting. I think it's really funny because like one of the famous quotes from Jane Eyre is when she says, "Reader, I married him." And in this book, the famous quote instead is, "Reader, I murdered him." So, okay, so I have not read Jane Steele, but it sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, I love Jane Eyre. It's one of my favorite classics. And it would be really fun to read a retelling of that story because I don't think I ever have. So yeah, haven't read it, but definitely still want to. Next up is a horror novel that I have heard lots and lots of things about that I think I'm gonna read this summer because it seems like it's a good summer read. That is The Ruins by Scott Smith. This is about two American couples go on this vacation to Mexico, and they are kind of exploring the Mayan ruins, I believe, and they uncover some sort of evil, baddie, insidious nastiness. And yeah, that sounds like a good time to me. Okay, so I actually did read The Ruins a couple years ago. Bobby and I buddy read it, and I remember really liking it. I can't remember what I rated it. It was either a 3 or a 4 star because I really liked the ending. It was unexpected and not something typical of most horror novels, and so I really liked that it kind of went in a different direction. It was kind of gross. There was a lot of body horror in it that I remember. It was definitely like survival horror, which can be fun. So yeah, I enjoyed The Ruins. It was good. Like I said, I think it was a 3 or a 4 star. So yeah, so far we have 1 unread and 1 read, so not bad. Next up, I picked up We Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates. I have always wanted to read Joyce Carol Oates and have never read her. And this is one that I keep seeing everywhere, and I know they made this into, I think, a Lifetime movie that I haven't seen, but I will probably watch once I read the book. But it's about a family living in a small town in New York State, and something happens to the family. It doesn't say what, but something happens that affects the community and this family, and it's something that they kind of try to brush under the rug and don't talk about, and how that event and the way that they handled it affects this family. Okay, so I have not read We Were the Mulvaneys, but I still want to check it out for sure. Like I just said, I have been wanting to read Joyce Carol Oates, and I think that's a pretty good starting point for her. So yeah, haven't read it, but I definitely still want to, so I'm gonna add it to the possibilities for next month's TBR. Next up, I have Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. This is one that I've heard quite a few booktubers talk about and say that they really loved it. It is a historical fiction about a Japanese geisha, and it's kind of her tell-all, I guess you could say, about what it's like to be a geisha. Haven't read Memoirs of a Geisha either, but again, that's another one that a lot of people have read and enjoyed, and so I definitely still want to check it out. I don't know why I haven't yet. So okay, we are starting to get a little bit lopsided with the unread versus read. We have 3 unread and only 1 read. Another historical fiction book I picked up that was very buzzy a few years ago is The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. This is one I picked up because I think we are possibly going to be reading this for my local book club. So when I saw it, I figured why not. I also am interested in reading this because it is an epistolary novel, and I like to kind of switch things up occasionally and read books that are told in a different way, and so that kind of has me interested. This is a World War II historical fiction about the island of Guernsey and how it was affected during World War II as far as the German occupation is concerned, and it, like I said, okay, so there's one I've read. I did read Guernsey, was it last year, the beginning of last year, I think? And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I liked the epistolary aspect of the story being told through letters, though it did have a bit of a love story, which you guys know I'm not huge on. I liked it. I thought that it was nice. It was kind of a different sort of World War II story, because though it had its sad bits, it's depressing bits like I think any World War II story. It was also very hopeful and had a lot of funny moments, and like I said, had that kind of love story. And so yeah, it was enjoyable. I really liked it. I think it was a 4-star read from me. So yeah, I liked it. Okay, and then the last few books that I have are all nonfiction books. I found a lot of good nonfiction books at this sale, which makes me really happy because I've never really had much luck in that department with this book sale. As large as it is, the nonfiction section, never really had anything for me until today. The first one I picked up is The Hot Zone by Richard Preston, and this is a terrifying book about Ebola. You know, the really nasty Ebola virus, and it basically chronicles like its origins and how, I don't know if it's about how it came over to America or how they stopped it from coming over to America. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I'm a tiny bit of a germaphobe, and so I feel like this is gonna... Okay, anyway, I did read The Hot Zone, and it was a little bit of a disappointment only because I ended up not really getting along with the way Richard Preston writes. I felt like he over-embellished a little bit to kind of make the story more intense and more like thriller-ish. And for some reason, I kind of didn't like that. I kind of just wanted a straightforward story about this virus. Though it was, I think I read this one last year too. It was very impactful, especially being the state of the world right now, what it's like to have a virus get out into the world like that. It was okay. It was definitely not the best nonfiction book I've read. I think I gave it 3 stars, and I've pretty much decided like I don't think Richard Preston is for me because I've heard like all of his books are kind of like that where he over embellishes. So I read it, it was fine, 3 stars. We're gonna add it to the read pile. The next nonfiction book I picked up is all because of Katie over at Girl About Library. So Katie, thank you for, you know, opening my eyes to this book, because when I saw it at the sale, I definitely picked it up because of you, girl, so thank you. That book is The 57 Bus by Dashka Slater. This is about 2 teenagers who are riding a bus, the 57 bus, and basically a hate crime occurred. And it chronicles what happened and kind of tries to explain why. It deals a lot with race and social class. Okay, I did read The 57 Bus, and it was fantastic. Highly recommend it. Like I said, it does deal with a hate crime that occurred, but it is very, it deals a lot with like the gray areas of that, and how it was a lot more complicated than, oh, a hate crime occurred. Very, very good. Highly recommend. I believe I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. So definitely check out the 57 Bus if you haven't read it. Okay, I have 2 more books to talk about, 2 more nonfiction books. And the first one is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. I picked this up because this was like a really popular book for a while there, and I have been wanting to read it. So when I saw it at the library sale, I had to get it. It's very dense though. It's a very heavy paperback, which is, I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, this is about a serial killer that was wreaking havoc during the Chicago World's Fair in the late 1800s. So it's all about that. And then I think if I remember right, there is something where, I don't know if it's dealt or talked about in this book, but I thought I heard somewhere that they tried to, there is speculation that the killer from this time at the World's Fair may have also been Jack the Ripper over in England. Okay, anyways, I haven't read Devil in the White City because it's one of those kind of intimidating nonfiction books, because I've heard that the subject matter is pretty dense and can get kind of dry, that Erik Larson, his books are like that. I haven't read any Erik Larson, but yeah, I still definitely want to check it out, but I am a little bit intimidated by it. So, okay, we're gonna add that to the unread pile. It looks like right now it is even, 4 read, 4 unread. And then the last book I have is another like kind of true crime kind of book, and it is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Berendt. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. This is about I believe it's about a murder that happened in Savannah, Georgia, in this kind of renowned big house. I can't remember what the house was called. I've heard about it. Hold on, I'm gonna figure it out. Mercer House, there you go. And so it kind of deals with that case, but it also talks about just the area, the town of Savannah, and things that were going on, I believe. Okay, so I did read Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and I felt kind of mixed feelings about that one as well, because I really liked the beginnings of the book, because his intention, the author's intention, wasn't to write about this murder. It's just the murder happened to occur while he was writing a book about Savannah, because he just loved the town and wanted to write a book about it, kind of like a travel log about Savannah. And that part I actually really liked. I liked him talking about the town and the people that lived there and everything like that. When it got to the murder aspect, the true crime aspect, I didn't like it as much. I don't know why. I guess my problem with it was I felt like the writer was really good friends with the person that committed the crime. And so I just felt like there was a little bit of bias in there, and which, I mean, I guess is understandable, but it just affected it differently for me. And so I didn't really care for that part. So I don't even know if I ever rated this book. I think I gave it 3 stars, maybe, because the first half I really liked, and then the last half I wasn't really feeling. So it is what it is. It was fine. Okay, so it looks like I had 5 books. I had 9 books total, 5 that I read and 4 that I did not read. So I'm gonna go grab those 4 and then decide which one I'm gonna put on my May TBR. Okay, so the 4 books from this haul that I did not read were The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson, Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, We Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates, and Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. So I think right off the bat, as bad as it sounds, I'm gonna eliminate The Devil in the White City, only because this one gives me more of, in terms of like when I want to read this type of nonfiction, it gives me more of like fall winter vibes. So yeah, I don't know why. It's just not jiving with me right now. So I'm gonna pass on this one and put it away for a later time. And then the other one that I'm also feeling like it's more of a fall vibe. I don't know why certain books give me certain vibes. I mean, in this case, it might be this cover, but We Were the Mulvaneys is giving me fall vibes. And this is definitely going to be more of a sort of darker contemporary, which I'm not entirely sure I'm in the mood for right at this moment. I have been reading a lot of like serious stuff and dark stuff. And so I might kind of in May maybe want a little break from that. So I'm also going to go ahead and pass on this. So that leaves Memoirs of a Geisha and Jane Steele. Okay, so Memoirs of a Geisha is historical fiction. I don't know if this has like dark themes or if it is more a little more lighthearted. I'm not entirely sure. This one obviously is dark, but I feel like it's fun dark. Like it's not like serious, if that makes any sense. Even though it's about murder, like it's not serious. So, how do I want to do this? Which one should I pick? I think the one that's calling to me, honestly, is Jane Steele. It just seems kind of fun. Yeah. Although this one also sounds very good, but I'm only gonna pick one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Jane Steele by Lindsay Faye. I'm excited. Like I said, I don't read very many retellings of things. And this one just seems fun, especially given the type of character that Jane Eyre is in like the original Jane Eyre. It'll be interesting to see her as a murderer. I don't know, it just seems kind of off the wall and fun, and I guess that's what I'm in the mood for right now. So yes, I am gonna go ahead and put Jane Steele on my May TBR. All right guys, so there we go. We have made it through another book haul revisit. I think this one was pretty good. It was pretty even, which isn't bad. Yeah, and I definitely still want to read the books that are left on my TBR. They still sound interesting to me. I definitely don't want to get rid of them, so I'll read them at a later date. So thank you so much for coming along with me down the memory lane, and hopefully Jane Steele ends up being a great read. So that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.